Welcome to the PhoneArena.com video review of the Motorola Adventure. The Adventure is the second of two Verizon push-to-talk devices that we're taking a look at. Like the Casio G'zOne Boulder, the Adventure uses the Verizon's Revision A network, which allows for a second-generation push-to-talk experience. This gives the user increased call setup times and overall better performance. However, just like the Adventure, we came away not too impressed with the service as a whole. The Boulder is a rough and tumble phone and can take pretty much any beating you throw at it. While the Adventure does meet military certifications for things like shock resistance, dust, temperature, and high altitude, it's not quite as tough as the Boulder, and we wouldn't feel comfortable throwing it out the window or running it over with our car. It is, however, a much sleeker device, and you can see it's very razor-like in its design. There's a large 1.6-inch external display with dedicated media controls underneath. At the top here you can see a small 2-megapixel camera, which unfortunately took disappointing pictures. The left side of the phone features a volume rocker and a push-to-talk button. We like the push-to-talk button much better than we did on the Boulder. It's placed better and is much larger. The right side of the phone features a speakerphone or voice command button, and below that a smart key. The Adventure does have a 2.5mm headphone jack, and it also uses a micro USB charging port. The back of the phone has a texturized battery cover, which Motorola calls anti-slip. In general, the phone's put together well. However, the battery back is hard to put on, and you really need to push down the sides, because otherwise you'll get some play in here. Other than that, we really like the design of the Adventure. The inside reveals a 2-inch QVGA display, 2.2-inch QVGA display, which is relatively bright and crisp. However, at only 65,000 colors, it's not as crisp as we'd like it, and it does tend to wash out in direct sunlight. The keypad below features raised buttons on the rubbery surface. The buttons are very soft to the touch, though when you press them there is a slight click so you know that the button's been pressed. The bottom of the phone, which has a very razor-like hump, features a loud speakerphone, which performed very well in our testing. Motorola didn't put too much into disguising the Verizon interface on the Adventure. Although the animations are nice and quick, and they look pretty, it's still the same 5-tab thing we've seen since the VX7000. On the top level you can see the animation is very nice and smooth. However, once you get beyond that, you have the normal interface. The Adventure does feature a 2-megapixel camera, although the pictures were quite disappointing. As a multimedia phone, it has the media center, which encompasses VCast music with Rhapsody, as well as VCast video service, but no VCast TV. Of course, you also have the standard mobile web, which is just a WAP 2.0 browser, and it runs the normal Verizon Home Deck. As Verizon phones don't run Java, we can't load a third-party browser on for a more desktop-like experience. On the whole, we came away pretty impressed with the Adventure, much more so than the Boulder. While the push-to-talk service wasn't any better, as that's a network-dependent feature, the Adventure is much sleeker and had greatly improved call quality and especially battery life. We were able to not only achieve the 5.5 hours of talk time, but exceed it by nearly an hour. On the whole, the Adventure is a very well put together phone. We like the feel of it, even though it is plastic, and wouldn't have any problems recommending it to a user who wanted a generally tough phone. It's not something that we'd beat up as much as the Boulder. However, it should withstand the everyday wear and tear that most users would put on the phone.